We're starting today with a massive headline. Kyiv warns, Russia never wanted peace. It is Thursday, February 5, 2026. 12 years since the start of the war, and if you think the recent silence on the diplomatic front means things are calming down, well, think again. And for everyone standing with Ukraine, with the cause of freedom and justice, just a quick request. Look, subscribe to Defense Reports, your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports. So join me in the latest program by Defense Report for the latest in global defense news, military technology, and strategic developments, and today we're going to cover. We're doing a special deep dive into the Kyiv Security Forum. We have reports here from top generals, top diplomats, and they're suggesting that these recent peace talks were, much more of a sophisticated trap. And at the same time, the battlefield, where it's become something out of science fiction.
Yeah, it's some pretty heavy stuff today. We're looking at the Kyiv Security Forum, the KSF, and the chairman, Arseniy Yatsenyuk. He is not holding back at all. His entire argument is that Putin isn't negotiating to end the war. He's negotiating to extend it. The process itself has been weaponized.
Right. And that's where he brings up this really incredible point about the Nobel Peace Prize.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be clear, he's not talking about the medal itself, right? He's claiming Putin intentionally sabotaged a potential peace deal last year.
Exactly.
Specifically to stop the U.S. leadership.
Right.
And he names Trump from getting a Nobel-worthy political win. It suggests the Kremlin is more focused on, American politics than on actual peace.
It's pure strategic disruption. And Daniel Lobkivsky, he's the KSF director, he completely backs this up when talking about those trilateral talks in the UAE. He just calls any bilateral talks with Russia a trap. Yeah. The thinking is, Putin doesn't want to compromise. He wants total capitulation. So by just engaging in these talks, he creates this, this illusion of progress, which softens Western resolve. All while, as we now know, he was staging false flag operations.
And that fake attack on Putin's residence back in January, I mean, that makes so much more sense in this context.
It does.
It wasn't just for an internal audience. It was a calculated move to completely derail the peace track with the U.S. But if the diplomatic side is just a stalling tactic, what are they stalling for? Because, you look at General Petraeus' assessment for 2026, the battlefield is terrifying.
And that's the connection. That's what they need the time for. The whole nature of this war has fundamentally shifted. Petraeus describes it as a, quote, transparent battlefield.
The numbers certainly back that up. Ukraine produced 1.5 million drones in a single year. That's a staggering industrial achievement. But explain transparent. We're not just talking about surveillance, are we?
No, not at all. We're talking about a no man's land that is, for all intents and purposes, impassable. If you mass your troops, you're seen. You move armor, you get swarmed. The front line, as we used to think of it, it doesn't really exist anymore. AI-piloted systems completely dominate that zone. You simply cannot maneuver without being annihilated.
Which would explain these horrifying casualty figures coming out of Russia. Over 800,000. It sounds like they're trying to solve a 21st century tech problem with a 20th century solution, just mass meat wave.
Precisely. They are throwing bodies, and the reports mention North Korean cannon fodder at what is essentially an automated defense wall. It's a grim attrition strategy. They're hoping that sheer Russian mass can eventually overwhelm Ukrainian tech.
So with this kind of deadlock, the West is finally putting some real skin in the game. We've got the Paris Declaration from January 6th, the UK and France committing to deploy troops to Ukraine. But there's a massive caveat here, isn't there?
A huge one, yes. The coalition of the willing, as they call it, says they will deploy troops if, and it's a very big if, a peace deal is reached. It's meant as a security guarantee to enforce a peace.
But if we just rewind to the start of this conversation, Putin views this as a sacred mission, reviving the Russian Empire. He doesn't want a deal for part of the territory.
No, he wants the whole map.
So isn't the Paris Declaration offering a solution for a scenario that Putin will, by his very nature, never allow to happen?
And that is the paradox at the heart of all this. The West is offering post-war security, but Putin believes the war itself is existential. So promising troops after a handshake, well, it might not be the deterrent we think it is if that handshake never comes.
It seems like we're caught in a loop. The battlefield has to decide what diplomacy simply cannot.
I think that's the only takeaway right now. Peace won't be signed in a room. It's going to have to be secured on the ground.
You've been listening to Defense Report by Alex, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry. Subscribe to Defense Reports, your trusted source for timely, in-depth military and defense analysis. We'll see you next time. Keep supporting us so we can continue bringing you the latest developments from Ukraine and around the world.